Hey guys, so I want to put together a video to show you why mixing up hydroxides can be so dangerous and the process behind it. There is a drastic temperature change that takes place whenever you mix hydroxides with water. When you're starting that whole saponification process or soapification process, you wordsmiths out there can tear me apart in the comments, whatever you want, doesn't matter. So when you're starting this process, what I'm doing is I'm starting with 3 gallons of water and then mixing in 5 pounds of hydroxide. I'll come back in and I'll add in my own ingredients later that I use. What I'm doing is I'm mixing up 2 5-gallon buckets to use on oil spots and store entrances for the restaurants that I'm going to do tonight. So some of the PPE that I'm wearing, I got my safety glasses. I'll have my rubber gloves just like always. But for this process, 3M respirator. You can get these at Home Depot. If you're going to start messing around with raw chemicals, go get one. That's the first purchase you should make. Now, on that note, I don't frown on experimentation. I don't frown on trying to figure out how your chemicals work. What I do frown on is you guys that are fresh into the industry that are just buying raw products and throwing them together and hoping they work. What you guys need to do is figure out what chemicals you're already buying off the shelf. Look at the SDS. Look at the active ingredients within those chemicals. And then look at other comparable chemicals in the market that do the exact same job of the one that you're buying. And look at the active ingredients for those. Do the research on that. And then start looking at those raw ingredients with that. If you're not going to take the time to do that, then my advice to you is just leave the chemical experimentation alone. If you're not going to take the time to understand how the chemicals react with other chemicals or how they react with water or the process of how you could mix them properly or improperly, then you don't have any business doing it to begin with. So, here we go. Alright guys, so it's been 20 minutes since I did the mix. I'm going to periodically re-stir this I like to go about every 30 or 40 degrees drop. So here in probably another 10 minutes I'll give this another stir, but sitting 198 degrees right now, so just made it under 200. So in terms of temperature and chemical potency, this is some serious stuff that you're messing with. So if you guys are going to experiment with chemicals, at least understand the process of how mixing works. And then understand the main ingredients of those degreasers that you're already buying, and then do some research on what those do. So wear your PPE, figure out what works for you, and go wash something.